Hey guys, JD here, and this is my 1998 Kawasaki STX 1100 jet ski. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I bought this ski about a year ago for 300 bucks and have spent the good part of the last year restoring this ski and bringing it back to its original condition. Now the ski's been running great, pretty much everything is sorted out on it, and my buddy Tommy took the ski out in the ocean here and slammed the crap out of this thing. It performed great until we went to head in. And coming in the inlet, basically it wouldn't rev out, wouldn't go over about 25 miles an hour. So in this video, I show you how I diagnose the issue, and you'll really laugh when you see how simple the problem really was. Enjoy.
Oh no, it died! This piece of shit. You know what? Let's take this out and sink it so I can get the insurance money.
I'm just kidding. That was only for comedic effect. Don't take that seriously. Hey guys, JD here with the Kawasaki STX 1100 jet ski. And so we went out in the ocean the other day and had a great ride, and then coming in, the ski, it didn't actually go into a limp mode, but basically something happened and we were unable to get the ski over about 20 miles an hour. This one doesn't have a tack, so I don't know the exact RPM, but basically it wasn't able to rev out and the ski would stall. So it kind of seemed like a fuel related issue, but we don't know for sure. So we're going to go through and test a couple things here. I just wanted to show you guys when you have a problem like this, what I would test and go through to see if we could find the problem. Hopefully it's something simple like a dropped spark plug, but it could be something more serious like engine failure, loss of compression. So we're going to go through. The first thing we're going to do here is I've got these spark plug leads off. We're going to put these on the little grounding blocks right here. And we're going to do a compression test on this engine. Remember with these, you got to ground these out or else you could short out. Oh, shit. Well, I think I just found the problem. I said it felt like it was only running on 2 cylinders. Well, look at that. It's all green in there, corrosion. I think that's your problem. I'm telling you, I've spent so much time fucking fixing this thing that I was like disappointed. And remember I said, I'm like, it has to be something simple. I bet you this was it right here. This boot just popped right off. I bet you that's it. We're going to do a compression test anyway and check everything out just for the fuck of it. All right, so in diagnosing this, you know, the first thing we did was figure out that this was this plug wire is, you could see that green corrosion in there, and oh geez, that plug is really fouled out. Let's see how that compares to the other 3 plugs. All right, but look at that. You see all that? That's just completely fouled out. So anyway, when you're looking at 2 strokes, you always want that to be an espresso brown. On the insulator there, that looks okay. If it's white, that's really bad. You're running way too lean. These all look pretty rich though. Yeah, it's running way too rich, which I knew it was rich, but let's go ahead and do a compression test just to be safe. With 2 strokes, especially a reed motor like this, they'll run with low compression, but we want to get a compression reading just to rule that out, right? A lot of people, I talk to guys that they ask me all these questions. I'm like, did you check the fuel pressure? Did you check the compression? Did you check? And they're like, no. I'm like, go buy yourself a Harbor Freight compression tester. And then people will be like, oh, the Harbor Freight ones aren't accurate. Look, it doesn't matter if it's accurate or not. What you want is the same reading within 5 to 10% across all cylinders. So as long as this particular engine should be over 95 PSI. If each cylinder's over 95, it'll run. All right, this is my gauge here. This you want to get as tight as possible so it's not leaking. All right, we've got so this one we can't ground out because it's fucking broken. So we got to fix that first so we could ground it out so it doesn't short out the coil. Then what we're gonna do is hold the throttle open, and Miles here is gonna crank the ski while we get a compression reading. But let's get this spark plug wire fixed first. All right, so just to give you guys a quick recap, we were out in the ocean riding the snot out of this thing. Everything was running great. Then all of a sudden, the ski didn't go into limp mode or anything, but it basically lost power. And my first inclination was, okay, it's either spark or fuel. And so I said the first thing we're gonna do is get this thing apart and check the compression. And when we were taking this apart, we found that this spark plug wire here for the number 3 cylinder is completely corroded and just basically popped off. So at this point, I'm going to venture to say that this was only running on 2 cylinders, and that's what the problem was, and there's actually nothing wrong with it, and it was just this wire. So in a case like this, what we're going to do is we're going to strip this wire back. We don't have a lot of room here, as you can see. I don't want to have to replace this whole wire, but we're going to strip it back about 3/4 of an inch. And then we're gonna this is a thread-in type cap. These are Japanese made caps. Very high quality, 26 years old. You can't get anything like this. You can get replacement OEM ones, but the cap itself is fine. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can fix this. All right, so what you wanna do is, in a case like this where we can see that corrosion, we just wanna strip this wire back just a little bit. I don't have all that much room, so we're gonna just try to strip this back just a little bit without cutting the core. Okay, and you can see that wire exposed there now. Yeah, okay. So now we gotta make sure there's a zip tie here again to hold it in place. I'm gonna grab that now. All right, so now that we've repaired that, we just want to do a compression test, so we're going to make sure that's grounded out. All right, all 3 wires are grounded out. So we're going to connect our compression tester here. Get that nice and tight. Make sure you have the throttle open. Again, this is a cold compression test. Ideally, you want the engine to be warm. We're just confirming that we've got compression in all 3 cylinders. All right. All right, so let's call that 100 PSI. Cylinder number 2. The key is we just want them all to be consistent at this point. Okay, ready, cylinder number 1. Well, they're all the same, right? So the takeaway from this test, there's 2 takeaways. One, that this engine is, assuming this tester is completely correct and we're at 95 PSI, I mean, we could just round up and call it 100 on this tester. All 3 cylinders were consistent, so that's really good. I don't think it's dropped a piston or anything. And again, finding that spark plug boot off, I'm gonna venture to say that that was our issue. So, shit. I really just want to get new plugs for this. Looking at our plugs, the rear cylinder here was a bit fouled out because it wasn't firing. I could clean these up and reuse them, but I'm going to go ahead and replace these with some brand new plugs. These are BR9ES. I'm going to see if they have these at my local Napa. Pick some new ones up, and then I'll put some anti-seize on those, retorque them, and I'll put everything back together, then get the ski out in the water, give it a quick test. I just went out, picked myself up a set of 3 brand new spark plugs. So I'm going to go and install these. Remember, we're going to use a little bit of anti-seize, and we're going to torque them each to 20 foot-pounds. So I'm going to get these in, hook everything back up, then let's fire up the ski and just ensure that everything's running as it should. Again, an issue like that wouldn't present itself really on the trailer. You're not going to know the engine's got power loss until it's under load in the water. So, you know, that's a good time to mention, anytime you're buying a jet ski, they always run great on the trailer. It's in the water when they start to have issues, when they're under a load. All right, so let's get these new plugs in. So I got some anti-seize on these plugs, and we're gonna get them in place. All right, so when you experience an issue on the water, you know, you want to check the basics first, right? And if you find something like I did with the spark plug boot, chances are, you know, you could save yourself a lot of time having to go through everything else if it turns out that the spark plug boot, like in my case, was the issue. While I'm checking this, I don't want to waste time going back and forth and having to, you know, come back and fix it again. So we checked the compression, I checked the spark plug wires. I wanted to check the tank vent. On these older two-strokes, this vent can get clogged up with mud daubers or gunk, and then the tank can't breathe. So if air can't flow into the tank, then fuel can't flow out. So I pulled this off, and what I'm going to do now is just blow on it. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but when I blow into this, I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to try to. So the tank is holding pressure. On this particular model, there is no check valve on this little vent line. So, you know, air can go in, vapor can come out of this breather here. And I just blew into that and air came back out. That also means your tank seal, there's a gasket on the cap here. That means that that's good. No water or leakage is going to get in the tank. All right, so once you pull this vent line off, you are going to have to take apart this little upper dash assembly to reroute the hose back up there. It has a little, you know, vent cap that goes on it. You don't want to leave this in your bilge because that can cause fuel vapor to accumulate in the bilge and then cause your ski to explode. So we don't want that to happen. So I'm going to have to pull this apart just to reroute that vent line back up there, but it's worth checking. You know, pain in the ass, but it was worth checking. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing for more exclusive jet ski content, only on JD's Water World.